Hey everyone, David, Charts of the Day, back at you again. Well, I told you yesterday that I thought Amazon was going to have a good day today. And let me just start by saying this is Thursday, July 26th, 2025. And you had several buying opportunities today with Amazon to make really good money. It was something to behold. Let me start off with telling you where I bought and sold. I was watching the post-market and pre-market today, and there was just a lot of activity. Alphabet had reported their earnings. They had, of course, fabulous earnings, and that's going to drive tech stocks and the fabulous, the Magnificent Seven and all that. Amazon had Tuesday and Wednesday didn't have such a great day. I thought that was going to be a catalyst for them to have a good day today. And today was Thursday. Generally, Thursday is usually a good trading day, generally speaking. So there were a lot of things that were lining up. There was a Japan deal, with tariffs. A lot of things were lining up in favor of making some money today on Amazon. And so I pretty much bought pretty close to when the bell opened. For those who haven't seen these before, this is a 10-minute chart. So each candle is a 10-minute candle. And I bought right in here, you can see the yellow arrow. I bought right here at 229.50. And I sold up here, so 20 minutes, basically 20 minutes later, I sold at 233.50 for a $4 a share profit. That was huge. And I mean, my day was my day was pretty much done. I mean, that's one big trade for me, and that's all I needed. But so if you bought coming out of the gate, you really did well. And again, as I said yesterday, I thought today was going to be a good one, and it doesn't get much better than that. Now, of course, then it went down, and here was another opportunity right here. Okay, so went straight up, then went down. Now it's coming back for the second bite of the apple at around 231. If you bought at 231, if you sold at the very high, it would be 233. So it's basically a $2 a share profit. Now this signal here told me to sell a little bit later, but even that is a great return. $2 a share, and that was 20, 30, 40, less than an hour of trading. There was a $2 move, and finally, if there wasn't enough excitement for you in a day, at the very end of the day, the last 10-minute candle, this thing went from basically 232 to 236, another $4 move on a 10-minute candle. So, wow, that was 3 incredible trading opportunities, buy opportunities. I hope you took one of those opportunities and made some money on it. Yeah, so this is my range trading chart here, and this is what I call a sensitive one. Even on a 10-minute chart, it does give buy and sell signals usually faster than some of the other charts that I have. But this thing was spot on. Buy, sell, buy, sell. And it didn't get a buy signal here, probably because it just happened so fast at the end that it didn't register. But a lot of really good signals today. The volume was way up over what it has been the last 10 days. I think the average volume over the last 10 days was 37 million. The last I looked, I thought it was like 46 million. I mean, this is a big volume day. And I think another reason that it kind of went up today too is the Dow yesterday went up pretty high, and I think it stole some of the thunder, you know, from the Nasdaq, and this was the stock coming back today. So there are a lot of things that really pointed to some good buys today, good buy opportunities today. So I hope you took advantage of that, and I hope you listened to my my spiel yesterday saying I think it's going to go up today. So let me take a look. We're going to do we'll do one more chart for today. I'm not going to make this real long today, and then we'll do a 5 and a 10 minute look and see what we have. I'm going to go do the simple chart that anyone can put together, even the most basic inexperienced trader. There's only two indicators on this chart. One is VWAP, which is the pink line. And then this here is the Hall Moving Average. Now the way I have it on here, I've moved it from 20 down to 10. So if you go into your settings, you can do that. And what it does is it makes the moving average buy sell go faster. So you know if you're trading in one day, if you're going to hold it as a swing trade or something longer, then you keep it at the 20. But I like to speed it up. So here you can see the Hall Moving Average. The yellow is buy. I mean, there's a buy signal all the way up, and it came. You know, if you sold here, you did sell a little bit, a tiny bit lower than you could have received if you didn't take this buy signal. But still, this is a great, because this is the first true down candle, 10-minute candle, and it had a sell right at that, and then down, and then again, this was the second move of the day, went from blue to yellow, right there, and then back down to blue to sell, and then it was kind of just rambling along most of the afternoon until it popped up at the end of the day. Really a huge candle, $4 candle essentially. So this is a chart that I really recommend. I have received input from one of the subscribers I have, and one of the recommendations is that I do some brief educational videos, like what is VWAP and how do I use it, and what is the Hall Moving Average, and some more insight into that. So I'm going to put together, over the next week or two, I'm going to put together some informational videos, not so much about the trade of the day, but of the indicators, the common indicators that are used. What you'll see on a lot of my charts are custom indicators that you will not be able to find in stock, if you will, on Thinkorswim, which is what I use here, or other trading platforms. But indicators like this are hugely valuable. You've probably heard in some of my other videos, if you watched them, again, once the Hall Moving Average crosses above VWAP, look at that move there. That's a big signal. Here it is. It crosses above VWAP. Again here, moves up. So this is a really good, easy chart, available indicators on every trading platform that I'm aware of, that you can add to your chart and you can use to help guide you make buy and sell decisions. You should never use an indicator solely by itself to make a decision on buying or selling. You have to look at volume. You have to have some experience too as well. But you have to consider VWAP. There's other factors. What happened in the news last night? Well, in this case, Alphabet had a big win on earnings that put the market in a great mood. So that's something you have to consider. What day of the week is it? Well, this was Thursday. Thursday's a better trading day than, say, Friday. Fridays can be a very difficult trading day. Yes, there can be big Fridays, but a lot of Fridays are just days where I hesitate to buy and sell, or I don't buy and sell at all. So there's a lot of things to factor in besides, well, what does the indicator tell me? The indicators are not flawless. Okay, so let me get out. Let me just go down to the basic set of candles here. And we'll pull this buy sell off so we have a clean chart. And we'll take this up to, take a look at 5 days, half hour, 30 minutes. So these are 30-minute candles. There's some stretching it out to 5 days. So, yeah, you know, there was, you had a big push up here Friday, Monday, post-market Monday, and then pre-market Tuesday, crash Tuesday morning. Then it kind of went sideways. You know, it had a little bit of an up move to it, but it was mostly running sideways. Then again, as soon as the market opened, boom, went down again, and then made a recovery toward the end of yesterday afternoon. And what piqued my curiosity or piqued my interest was this here. You can see this area here. This is right after the market closed, and Alphabet had, you know, said we made a lot of money as usual in their quarterly earnings, and the market reacted to that. To me, that was also a sign, besides the fact that Amazon had been flat the last couple of days and it was due for a move. You know, this kind of gave me the idea that, you know what, tomorrow, kind of confirming tomorrow is probably going to be a big day. And, you know, it did kind of, from there, it did kind of just go sideways. But man, when the market opened, holy moly. But looking back now at 5 days, so if we run, oh, that's not right. Let me move that in. I have to do a different drawing tool. And I'll probably do a learning segment on the drawing tools as well, because those are important. Sometimes you can use the drawing tool and just use that to create your trend analysis and the direction of the stock. And I'll actually show you that in a second here. This is kind of flat here, so we'll start off here and move it along this bottom part, the lowest, essentially lowest prices. And so you can see this is a trend up. You can see it trending up on the chart, and that's a good sign. What you have in here within the two blue trend lines is range. So this is the range the stock is trading in from day to day. So it's always good to step back away from the current day of trading and look back 5 and 10 days to see what is this stock doing, what has it been doing the last week. And this basically captures that. So from this perspective, you know, things are looking good. And let me remove this, and I'll show you. Like, let me show you this as an example here, this day. If you were trading on this day and you just had this chart, you had no indicators or anything else, you could use your trend line, your drawing tool. Okay, this is where it went down. And this is where it went up. So this is a 30-minute chart because I'm using it on 5 days, but it would be more compressed on a 10-minute chart. But even here it shows you, if you look at this, the stock crossed down. Once it moves back up and starts up a trend line, you've got a buy, essentially a buy. So just the drawing tools a lot of times can be a huge help. As a matter of fact, sometimes they're better than the indicators. Let me just take this and move this down to a 10-minute, and I'll show you what I mean, because the 10 minutes really what you work with. Okay, so let's use this day. So here, this is on a 10-minute. Okay. Got your red right there. So once it crosses above this, you're now in an uptrend. So, and you can draw this, or you could do this. That's probably more accurate. So as you're moving up, you can see, well, you can see this visibly, but drawing the lines really gives you a, you know, a bird's eye, like here's the cutoff, right? This is where you're going to start having problems. When it falls below that trend line, moving up, that's where you're most likely going to fade away and have to sell. Okay, so drawing your trend lines is a basic thing you should definitely want to try to learn how to do. And it just takes practice. You know, there's no, I don't think, well, there's books written about trading for everything, but this shouldn't be something you have to read a book about. You can draw them as you see them. Okay, this is the 10-day 1 hour chart. So we'll take this, you know, this is kind of flat here, so we'll take it from the high point, essentially 10 days back or so, to the high point today. Yeah, I don't think that's going to really stretch. I think really this is the more accurate trend line for the lower, because there was a lot of discombobulation there. Although you could do this as well. Right? So here, right here, you know, well, this is all trading you know, within the zone. But you can see right here, draw this down. That's not what I wanted. See if I can draw this. There we go. So roughly from here on, you have that upward movement. It's a pretty good trend lines there. So it's just good to go back, draw some trend lines 5-10 days back, and just have an understanding of what's been happening in the recent past. That's important to have that context. And then you can concentrate on the day at hand. You know, I do go back, as you saw yesterday, I do go back a couple days before the next trading day. And let me just highlight that here. That was today, yesterday's, day before. So just to give me an idea of where, you know, what it's done in the performance-wise the previous 2 days. And when I see this, it starts to make me think, you know, it's due for a good day. So that was one of my reasons for saying yesterday, I think that the stock is going to have a really good day today. Now, tomorrow's Friday, and Fridays, as I said previously, sometimes I don't trade on Fridays, or if I do, I'm a very careful trade. I'm in and out. It may, you know, it may explode tomorrow for all I know. I could be dead wrong, you know. But for me, I go easy on Fridays because my past experience is more bad things happen than good things on Friday trading, typically. So I'm not saying the stock's going to go down tomorrow. It may continue its move up, but I would be very careful if you're thinking about trading tomorrow. The quarterly earnings report for Amazon is on August 7th. So not next week, but the following week, I think on a Wednesday. So, you know, the yearly high is $242.52, $242 basically. And we're now at 232 at the end of the day, 236 post-market. We had or actually that was within market, I think, but it went up to 236 at the end of the day. And I think it's going to take a little bit next week to move up, and then Monday and Tuesday the following week, right before earnings, we're probably going to see another big push. This stock, I think, is going to make a new yearly high before earnings. The way it's going gangbusters. So anyway, I may or may not make a video tomorrow. Depends if I trade or not. I hope to. We'll see. And I'm gonna, as I said earlier, I'm gonna make some basic indicator instructional videos so that when I talk about things during these videos about the actual charts, that some of it, hopefully a lot of it makes sense to you if you're a new trader. And for people that are seasoned traders, you know what I'm talking about already. But there are a lot of people out there who haven't been trading long, and I think it's good to give them an education on what they need to look out for and some of the good indicators, some of the good common indicators they can use. All right, guys, with that said, I'm going to sign off here, and I hope you have a good evening. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you don't mind. It helps with the metrics, if you will, on YouTube. But again, have a great day.